In this video, we will demonstrate some of the features of NeuroExplorer. When you open NeuroExplorer, you will see 4 panels: Files, Properties, Analysis, and Variables. First, you need to load your data into the program. You can simply click at one of the files in the Files panel, or you can use File, Import Data, menu commands. As you can see, NeuroExplorer can directly import files created by many popular data acquisition systems. This is all for the offline mode, which means that we will use the files previously recorded. Also note that you can use NeuroExplorer in the online mode when you're running one of the 4 supported data acquisition systems. You can connect to the server available for the system and then get data during your recording and analyze the data. However, in this video we will use the offline mode. So let's load one of the data files. When you load the file, you will see first a variable view, this kind of data window that has multiple tabs. There are variables, timestamps, and other tabs. In the variables tab, you see groups of variables grouped by variable type. So we have neurons, which are spike trains with timestamps, and you have preview of the timestamps, a little pattern here of the first second of the data. Then you have events, which in this particular case are behavioral events. Markers are usually events, digital events with timestamps and some values attached to them, intervals that we can use to select the data. Intervals are not usually recorded in the data acquisition system, but we can create them manually or from events. Also, we have in this file some waveform variables, which are timestamps plus the action potentials, and continuous channels. If we look at other tabs of this window, you can see that all the numerical values of the loaded data are available. So for example, if you need to copy and paste data into another application, you can do this in this window. You can do the same thing here in continuous values. Right click, copy, and then you can use this copy in Excel or MATLAB or another program. Notice also that you can paste new values right here into this view. If you have your data, for example, in Excel, you can copy columns in Excel and paste them here. We will not do this here in this video. Instead, we will go to variables window and create and select some of the events. We have all the neurons selected by default. Then we can select some events, select an interval variable, select a couple of waveform variables, and select continuous variables. When we select the variables, these variables are available for analysis. So if we run analysis, NeuroExplorer will use these variables and analyze them. So you can analyze one or all variables or any combination. In this particular case, we will use data viewer just to look at this data from these variables or from these channels. To open this window, use view menu and select data viewer window. So what you can see here is that you can see the timestamps of neurons, you see the interval, you see waveforms and continuous data. Let's increase the size of the windows for continuous and waveforms. You can use your mouse to just press left mouse button and move data back and forth. By the way, what you can see, important feature of NeuroExplorer, NeuroExplorer supports continuous channels recorded with gaps. So any analysis that uses timestamps, for example, per event histograms or spike triggered average will align your continuous data with the proper events or timestamps, taking into account all the gaps. You can zoom in time using these toolbar buttons. So for example, we can decrease the time shown in the time axis here, or you can much easier do this by pressing Control button and using your mouse wheel. So now I'm rotating mouse wheel while Control button is pressed, and you can see that we can zoom in and finally look at the shapes of action potentials. And let's zoom out now back. So now we have an overview of our data at a kind of high level scale. We can look at this interval, and what we see is the interval 30 covers area from 0 to 30 seconds. One of the features of NeuroExplorer is that you can select data. When you analyze, you can analyze all the data in the file, or you can limit your analysis to a specific time interval by typing, say, I want from 25 to 45, or by specifying so-called interval filter, which will have one or more intervals, and NeuroExplorer will use data only within these intervals when running the analysis.